something crosses the road. It's skeletal, like fleshy, and it stands up, and then it like kind of just almost like leaps.
They look back and they see one. Clear as day. It walked 5 feet away from my audio recorder. We just saw a Bigfoot. Holy crap.
I've been pinched, I've been tapped on the shoulder, I've had my name hollered, a hand came up underneath my left arm. I said, little son of a bitch tried to get me. That was the time that I decided you don't sleep inside that building.
Did you see that?
The cow cur, it's big, it's white, and it runs faster than any man could ever run. And he would lean out behind the tree. And that's why we never go out, because the booger will get you.
Well, welcome guys. Thanks for taking the time out to come on our podcast. This is awesome. You guys hearing us okay?
Yep,
we are. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you guys are FayWest Paranormal. We met you guys at the, oh my goodness, the Bigfoot camping adventure. That's right.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, I got so many things going on. My mind just forgets things.
Same.
My buddy told me the other day, he said, Dustin, you're not old enough to have these memory issues. I was like, you just don't know how much is on my plate.
Right. When the brain's full, it's full.
Right. So how did you guys form FayWest Paranormal? Like, how did you guys get into it?
I've had some paranormal experiences growing up, and Chris was always interested in the paranormal. So I think we kind of just started getting into like watching TV shows and things like that. I think that's like the same goes over into our storm chasing. You either watch it on TV or you have an experience that makes you want to get into the field. So we kind of combined watching TV and our experiences, and we said we want to go out and do this ourselves. That was clear back 2008, 2000. No, it was before that.
Yeah.
Our very first thing we did is we went to a conference out in Gettysburg that Rick Fisher, who was at the camping adventure, he had put on a paranormal conference in Gettysburg. My brother was speaking at it, so we wanted to go out and support Eric. But we learned a lot of cool things. And that night, which was another story in itself, we stayed at the Farnsworth house, and we had some really strange things happen. So I think from there, we decided to start buying equipment and doing the investigation.
Yeah, that sounds like it. She said, having something happen to you piques your interest into it. And then when the TV shows started happening on, obviously Ghost Hunters was one of the originals, and we watched it pretty religiously, got ideas. But so I think she's right, that paranormal conference we went to at Gettysburg, then the experiences we had that night at the Farnsworth house, that's what set us off. And then that's from then on, it was just to find equipment and investigate.
Yeah.
And I think when you get in, when you have an experience, you want to see more. You've got to find answers. That's always been our thing, finding answers. And we don't fake anything. If nothing happens on an investigation, so be it. But if we get a lot of investigation, we want to see more and more. And we try to debunk things and figure out why we had that experience. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I grew up with the whole paranormal. My dad was into it, watching the whole TV show, so that's how I got into it.
Really?
What are some of the TV shows you guys enjoy watching?
Back then there was that, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was from the UK, and
Most Haunted.
Do you guys remember that show? Yeah, that was before Ghost
Hunters were the only two on, basically.
But it was funny.
And they kind of competed for a while, and then Most Haunted put on a big live out of Gettysburg, and it was like it disappeared after that. We never saw it again. know if they broke the budget or what happened there, but
Oh, gee. Yeah. So I'm curious, FayWest, is that two names combined? Is that local, personal? Like, how'd that come to be?
It's for Fayette and Westmoreland counties.
Okay.
We live right on the border. We could throw a rock into Fayette County, but we live
I'm
in
looking at
Westmoreland.
Fayette County right here out my window.
So most of our investigations have been out of both counties when we first started. So
And now we're expanding.
we used to do a lot of private residences, not so much anymore.
Yeah. No, you guys have an area that you regularly. Hold on, I'm hearing a lot of background noise somewhere. I think it's Luke.
Going on.
But yeah, you guys have an area that you regularly explore. I think you guys call it Area X, right?
That is correct.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about that? A little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's in Fayette County, on the Chestnut Ridge. So I will go back to the beginning of why we're up there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm shaking the table here.
Yeah.
It's an earthquake.
So in the beginning, like I've always gone out exploring with my brother and his team, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society, and looking for Bigfoot and other strange cryptids in the woods. And we've always heard strange noises and heard a couple wood knocks and stuff. So it piqued our interest, but I never really got into that part of the paranormal field. It was always just, spirits and ghosts and hauntings. But back on May 21st, 2021, I was at work and I had a sighting. My partner and I were in the ambulance, and we were going to stand by. It was midnight. Not looking for anything, obviously. We were at work. We were just chit-chatting in the ambulance, and something crossed the road right in front of us. I can't tell you 100% that it was a Bigfoot, but it was really tall, probably 7 foot tall, black head to toe. I don't know why a person would be crossing the road in front of a car, but it was bipedal, and it crossed the it's a 2-lane road, but it's a pretty well-traveled road. Crossed the road in 3 steps. Went up an embankment.
Measured, it was 29 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it went up an embankment, and like a pretty steep embankment, and we didn't see it again. And we turned around, came back, didn't see it. I messaged my brother immediately, but he didn't get back to me till the morning. And he said, I can meet you up there. We can look around and see what we find. And in the morning, we found 3 impressions in the grass going up the embankment, and then they disappeared. Oh. So that started to pique my interest even more. And while we were snooping around that area, we heard a howl, and this is in broad daylight.
Yeah, probably 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
It came from the ridge across the road. And my brother said, I have no doubt what you saw. So we started exploring the area a little more, and I work in that area. Well, I did work in that area, and I would go outside at night and I would hear howls and screams, and this is pretty rural. So we had been up in that area before, like 4-wheeling with my Jeep. So I told my brother, hey, let's go up to this area and check it out at night, because this is where all the noises were coming from. So we went up there, and it was March. There was still snow on the ground, no leaves on the trees. And as we were driving on, it's all dirt roads. It's obviously 4-wheel drive area. We heard, let me back that up. We're driving up this dirt road, and I was kind of looking out my passenger window, and out of my peripheral vision, I saw something flash in front of the Jeep. So we had radios, and I radioed him. He was following us. I told him, we need to stop. I just saw something. And I'm thinking, am I crazy? Because I'm seeing all this stuff all of a sudden, hearing all these noises. And I don't want to be like one of those people that, keeps having all these claims. But I saw something. So we stopped, got out, and he had his thermal camera. We looked down the hill into the woods, and there was a deer standing there. So I just thought, okay, it was a deer. That's what I saw. Because I hadn't seen it, full head on. I saw it on my periphery. So we're watching this deer down in the woods, and it's not moving. It's just, you could tell it's broadside. It's looking right at us. You can see its ears, but it's not moving. And as we were doing that, one of the other guys that was with us went back to my brother's truck to get something out of the bed. And he was under the tonneau cover crawling in there. And we heard a wood knock like 50 feet from us. So we
right
all
behind
turned,
the guy getting in the truck.
Yeah. So we all turned our attention back to where this wood knock came from, which is right beside the truck. And we yelled at him, and he didn't hear it. It wasn't him making the noise. So we turned the thermal camera up there, and we saw nothing. So turned back down to look where we had seen the deer, and it was gone. We never heard anything running. And like I said, there were leaves down on the ground, but there was no heat signatures in the snow where it would have been. So it was really strange to us. So we got back in, drove up the road, and as we're driving up the road, all of a sudden we heard a moan, like this from inside the Jeep. We heard this moan outside. So we stopped again, and we're just looking around. We didn't get out. And there was a trail that went down into the woods, and it was a bright moon that night. I don't think it was a full moon, but it was pretty bright.
Yeah.
And so you could see down this trail, and all of a sudden I saw this big flash. It looked like someone took a picture, but it stayed lit up. And then it kind of slowly started dimming out down to like the size of a lightning bug. And it just sat there. And him and I were watching this light. And then all of a sudden, these footsteps, like we could hear them because I had my window down, coming up the trail. But there was nothing there. Nothing. So I'm like, all right, we need to leave. Like, I was freaked out.
Oh, wow.
And as we started pulling out again, something hit the side of my Jeep.
Like right by
On
my
the
shoulder.
driver's side this time, because everything that I saw was on the passenger side.
Mm-hmm.
So now something from the driver's side hit the Jeep. And I said, we need to come back up here. This is some crazy stuff up here. So we've been investigating ever since. And that was March of 2022 that we started going up there, and we're still investigating up there now.
Yeah.
So like, we try to get up there as often as we can. We've been doing a lot of research with different equipment. And we've had so many different experiences. So we got to get you guys up there.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be amazing. Do you guys have any guesses as to why the area is so active?
I mean, guesses, yes. Like we call it a bridge is the way we describe it a lot of times, because it seems like a lot of things happen there, but it doesn't seem like, it almost seems like things are passing through the area instead of staying in the area. And we do actually, there's one spot we really call the bridge, because we've seen things cross a road and like not even acknowledge that we're there. So that's kind of, just don't know if it's a thin area between dimensions or what, but it seems like every phenomenon you can think of, we've witnessed up there pretty much. From even UFOs to the spook lights to sounds to cryptid calls, and you name it, we've had
cryptid sightings.
Yeah. So
we actually filmed for a documentary up there.
Several actually now.
Yeah, back in it was actually the end of March in 22 when we started going up there. And we had 4 different teams set up the whole way around the area, about a quarter mile to a half mile apart, using radios to communicate. And we heard wood knocks that night. We all started seeing, well, one of the guys with my group and I both saw a ball of light. It was very quick, but mine was orangish yellow, and his was blue. So we radioed to other teams that we started seeing balls of light. They radioed back that they were also seeing balls of light, and they were all around us. So we decided to all meet on that road where we call the bridge. And as we're all walking towards each other, this probably basketball size ball of light was sitting in the middle of the road. We could see it from all sides, and they actually got it on camera for the documentary. And I can't tell you what it was, but as one of the guy that saw the blue light started walking towards it, then all of a sudden a red light and a white light appeared that looked like a tail light and a headlight. And it almost looked like a truck was parked broadside across the road. And as he walked towards it, like we all saw it, he walked towards it, it just disappeared.
That's wild.
So, yeah.
That is crazy.
I don't know.
We'll give it a little hype so people can go watch it. That was
Small Town Monsters. And the series, because there's several episodes in the series, it was called Sasquatch Unearthed the Ridge. And like episode 1 and 2 talk about Area X and show some of that stuff.
Where can people find that? Is that out there to watch?
Yep, it's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Small Town Monsters channel. And like I said, the series is called Sasquatch Unearthed the Ridge.
And the very first one, the first episode is the ambulance incident, which is
my sighting.
And then the second one is
the investigation.
They're called spectral Bigfoot.
Spectral lights or something like that.
And that's the one that has the actual the first one ends right when we're ready to see that light in the middle of the road. And then the second one begins with that. And I just was looking, look what premiered today, premieres today, but that was only last night.
We also just filmed another documentary up there in the spring called, what's it called? Phantom Lights.
UAPs of the Forest.
Yeah, and that's with Small Town Monsters as well, and it premieres tonight.
Tonight at 6.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry, tomorrow at 6. I apologize. Tomorrow at 6.
But it's all about the lights and different theories we have into them. I mean, a lot of theories they think are, when man comes into an area and disturbs the ground, what does the earth do? Does it get angry? Does it try to fight back? Does it show you? There's been a lot of mining in that area. Could it be lights from mining? Could it be miners' lights? There's all type of theories out there.
Our daughter said that for a while now.
Yeah, before we even made the documentary.
She believes, and her name's Mars. She didn't want to join us this morning. She's a little tired, but her theory was that Bigfoot. She sees Bigfoot as like a guardian of the earth, and when there's things happening that that scar the earth, that's when you start seeing more of them and everything. So
yeah, I believe it.
And up in the area, there's a lot of logging, so
he wants to be part of the show too.
I have a question. Do you guys have activity at your house?
We do. We built our house, so it's not like it's haunted by residents of the past, but this whole area is Native American area as well. Mm-hmm. We do have a couple mounds around us, and we don't know if it's the ground itself or things that have kind of attached to us, mm-hmm. or objects that we have brought in. I know I bought I collect beer steins because of our German heritage. And I had bought a wooden flask that's from Switzerland, and all the coat of arms are on it. And I bought it at a flea market, brought it home, no intentions other than, this goes with our collection.
I'm looking at it right now. Turn sideways.
The thing moves constantly. We've come downstairs and it's turned sideways. It's pushed back because we keep it on top of our cabinets. And it we put powder underneath, and
I'll be right back.
yeah,
I'm gonna go grab it.
there are drag marks all through it, like all crooked. And we set a camera up on it years ago, and like it moves so slow. But if you put like the recording of the camera and, you know, like fast forward or whatever, you can see it actually moving.
That's
It's
wild.
crazy. So, yeah. So, but we had activity before we brought that in. So I'm not sure. Mars is sensitive as well. And she has seen things in our house when she was little, like before she would even know what anything, you know, any paranormal was about. But, and they say kids are open to that because their minds aren't closed off yet.
Right.
But
yeah, the reason I ask is because, and now that you tell me, I remember you told me that at the convention, but within the last 2 to 5 minutes, I'm like 90% sure that I've seen at least 2 orbs.
Really?
I thought so too, right above Chris.
Right above Chris, and then right before he pointed out where the Stein was, there was one that shot that way. Yeah. There went another one. There was another one. That's crazy.
I saw it. Chris's orbs flying in and out. Yeah.
I saw him, but I was like, it might just be dust.
Well, I'm sure you see me sitting here geeking because I'm like, I have to tell them. I know I seen it, but
so when we got our first DVR system, we were playing with it and, you know, just trying to learn how to use it. So we set it up all over our house, and the kids were down in the basement with the monitors watching them. And Chris and I were upstairs, like just asking, you know, call and response questions. And yeah, there's the Stein. We'll show you that in a minute.
Okay.
But I was in the living room and just, you know, asking questions. And all of a sudden I saw a shadow or a mist by our kitchen door. Now, you know, it's complete. We had every light off in this house. So when we watched back, and I called it out loud, I said, I just saw a mist or a shadow over by the kitchen. And Chris actually turns to look at it with one of the camera. Yeah, he had a flashlight and he turned to look. But when we watched the DVR back, we watched an orb come from the living room, come into our kitchen, stop and sit there, turn around, come back into the living room and shoot up to the ceiling.
What?
And like it had purpose. It was intelligent. I can't explain it. And it was right at the time I said I saw a shadow or a mist.
Yeah, it was like whenever it stopped in the doorways when she said, I see a shadow or a mist in the doorway. And that's when it took off. Like, it's like, oh crap, they saw me.
And I didn't see an orb. I saw what looked like something shadowy, misty in the door. So we have that on our evidence video if anybody wants to look at that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's on your YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
When
if you're new to the channel, that'll be the first video that pops up for you.
But here's the Stein.
We'll introduce you to the Stein.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Just it's like a wooden flask. I forgot how heavy this thing is and everything.
But it moves by itself all the time.
I'll show you the picture I just took before I picked it up. So we put powder up there to keep an eye on it. I don't know how well you can see. Try to get it up.
Oh yeah,
I see the
drag marks. Yeah.
How it's turned sideways.
Just slides all over the place up there.
That's wow.
We normally have it pulled completely forward on the cabinet.
Yeah.
But it will be pushed the whole way back against the wall. It'll be sideways. And now we have, Chris used to collect Native American plates. Like, you know, the decorative plates, and we have them on little stands, and we have them around the cabinets amongst the beer steins. We now have one that turns sideways all the time.
What?
So
just one. So that's if it was vibration or something, you think they would all move. But it's only certain ones.
And you guys don't have any trains or anything near your house?
No. We tried everything we could think of. Like, you know, we have our garage is right next to that. So, maybe the garage door is doing it or something. But it just.
When we set the camera up on it, it was at night when we were all in bed. and the thing moved back and turned sideways.
Yeah, we did a time lapse on it. You could see it. It took all night, but it literally slid a couple inches overnight.
Okay, so there should have been nothing even outside that would have been. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's wild. I hold on a second. I have a list of questions, but we kind of went on a tangent there. No, that's okay. No, that's perfectly fine because that's I like.
Sounds like our 3-hour conversations by the lake. That
I like the organic flow of it, you know, because I feel like it makes it more interesting for people to listen to.
Absolutely,
it's more laid back.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I remember earlier you had mentioned that you're not sure if maybe some of these spirits may have followed you home or something. So you think that spirits can attach themselves to you?
I believe they can. Yeah. I mean, if you're doing something to instigate them, they might, like a spirit might want to attach itself just to come home and mess back with you. That's the way I feel.
Or if they like you.
Or if they like you, if you're being nice to a spirit and they feel comfortable with you, they might want to come home with you.
Yep.
Mars believes that a little boy attached to her. We used to help out with the investigations and tours down at the Homestead Library.
Carnegie Library at Homestead.
And with Oakmont Paranormal. And there was said to be a little boy there named Benjamin. And Mars at the time was a little younger. She was probably 13, 14. But we used to take her on investigations with us because she was a sensitive. And she kind of attached to this little boy. She did a lot of time sitting and talking to this little boy, and she thinks that he followed her home.
Yeah.
So we've never had any experiences with like a childlike spirit here.
Other than her seeing her grandfather.
Yeah, that was Mars was 5. It was right after we built the house and moved in. She saw a little boy at the top of the steps. Well, she said about teenage. And years later, she described him to me to a T. And years later, we were at my mother's and I was showing her pictures of old family members. My father had passed away before both of our kids were born. And I had pointed out a picture of my dad, which they had never met. And she just stopped and was big wide-eyed. And she said, and it was a picture of my dad as a teenager. And she stopped and big wide-eyed and she said, "That's the boy I saw at the top of our stairs."
Oh, wow.
She had no idea. She didn't know that was her grandfather. I didn't even tell her. Like, I was like, "Do you know who this is?" And she just stopped. I'm like, "Oh, well, that's your grandfather."
So she met him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. Now, do you think spirits can age over time after they pass away? Like, if you pass away as a baby, do you think it's possible to age, or you think they would just stay a baby?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question because my dad obviously was 57, but Mars saw him as a teenager. So I don't know if spirits can take
they can choose what their
appearance. Yeah, if they could take on the appearance of wherever they're comfortable, like if they wanted, because it goes along with people that have past life experiences, like I don't know.
I had one of those.
Yeah. So that's a good question.
That is. Or did he do it because he knew she'd be a little more comfortable and not frightened of her if he took on like a more child?
That's right. What I think.
Like he wanted to, yeah. Is that what you think too? Yeah.
But so like babies or children, it's hard to say, like maybe they're taking the form of another past life that they had, or I don't know. I've never really sat and thought about that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to think about now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember your dad asked that. Yeah, your dad asked that, and whenever he was on that question's been in my mind ever since. I'm like, I don't know, man. There's so much. It's so subjective,
Mhm.
Yeah. Someday we'll learn.
Yeah,
Right?
one day.
One day we'll all know.
Yeah.
But speaking of a past life experience, I had a mix, I believe, of a past life experience and a near-death experience. I don't know exactly what happened, but I was sleeping, and I felt that it was a dream, but I dreamed that I was actually a soldier in World War II, and I remember being chased by, I believe it was Japanese soldiers, and I was crossing a dry creek bed, and I couldn't, like, got to the far embankment and was trying to climb up it, and I couldn't climb up it, and I got bayoneted in the back.
Oh wow.
And I remember this all very vividly, and literally, like, on the ground, laying there, life draining out of me. And then all of a sudden, like, as everything started to go dark, next thing I know, I'm floating above myself in my bedroom at the current time. And I was like, what is going on here? And as I just literally, I started slowly going up, floating away from my body. And then I kind of rolled over and turned and was going towards a very bright light. And I remember just as I was like ready to enter that bright light, all of a sudden I sat up in bed, took a deep breath, and was like, what the heck just happened? Like,
holy cow. So like when
Yeah.
you say your body, was like you or what you were
it was
in the
me
dream?
at the current time.
Or at the current time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it started out where I was that soldier, but whenever I came out of my body, it was literally current time in my bedroom. I was a teenage kid laying in bed, and I was looking at myself in the bed, and then I started to go away from myself
Holy cow.
towards that light. Yeah, it was so.
I wouldn't have
it's
went
like-
back to sleep.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
I
Man,
don't know.
that'd be creepy.
Yeah, that one was crazy. I'll never forget. Obviously, that one will stick with me forever.
Yeah. So we recently went on an investigation with you guys at the Ross house, which we love teaming up with you guys. That was so much fun.
It was a blast. We had a blast.
What were your first thoughts on the Ross house when you first investigated it?
Initially, when we were getting the tour, the first time we went, Cindy, with the owner, was not able to be there. So her brother, who owns the antique store next to the Ross house, came to give us a tour. And when we went upstairs, we all heard a voice. And I was like, yeah, this place it's no joke. And I felt comfortable, though. I didn't feel anything like malevolent or...
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
felt super threatened in that place or
No.
anything. Like, you can tell something's grumpy,
Yeah.
but I don't feel anything evil there.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I think it was our first investigation there is when we heard the disembodied voice.
Yeah, the child. I think that might have been our first one.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
So after that, we were like hooked to that place because we had so many experiences and got the evidence. I was under Estes, so I did not hear the disembodied voice. But when I heard it back on our DVR and on our live, I was like, wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, I remember hearing that clip, and I know whenever we were there, we had a similar instance where we thought we had heard a disembodied voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be honest, I have not even had a chance to really look
Yeah,
at
look,
that yet.
It's
Like,
good. Oh, we have so
too
much
busy
evidence
with
to go over.
everything. But
Yeah, I've only got to look through like a little bit, like one audio file from my thing.
Right.
And it was when me and Mars was doing the Estes method, which I'm curious, what are your thoughts on some of them clips that I had sent you?
They're crazy. Yeah. I mean, you two were feeding off each other. You didn't even know what each other was saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you two are similar
Yeah.
when her and I do it, you know, and I think it has a lot to do with being sensitive and
Yes.
things. And I know, we know you are, and we know Mars is. So the two of you definitely we're communicating on
Yes.
a different level.
Yeah. I think my favorite one was whenever you, Chris, had mentioned the cologne, and I was like, "Oh, so you think I'm sweet or something like that?"
Yeah. And I wasn't even in the room at that time. I was
Yeah.
walking down the hall and
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
That was pretty funny. Now, you get good stuff there. That place never I have never been disappointed.
No.
Even on a slow night, it hasn't been disappointing. So
Yeah.
I like to get back there again.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
for
place.
sure. I think that was like our 6th time.
Yeah, I think that's about our 6th investigation there. So
Yeah,
we do well.
It's. I didn't feel very threatened, like you were saying. It just seems like something's just grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're annoying it by showing up 6 times.
Yeah.
These people are back.
I think the spirits get a familiarity with you, though. Do you think that maybe they open up a little bit more and give you more activity because they have that familiarity, or do you think that maybe they kind of get to a point where they're like, ugh, the same old thing?
I feel like they're like, oh, same old thing. They're going to ask us questions we have to answer. But I do feel like there's some residual hauntings there too. That, just happen over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a familiarity. I think you guys probably learned that with us. We try to make things more fun. We're trying to get away from the same old, just stand there, ask the same standard questions, and drone over and over. I could see a spirit being like, okay, my name's they almost have to have like a script, because they know what the questions are going to be.
Yeah.
My name's this, I'm this old, I died here, I died this.
Yeah, that's why I like investigating with you guys, because you look at it from a different perspective and bring that originality to investigating. It's not just the cookie cutter way of doing it.
Yeah,
I think you're going to get more evidence when you
Yeah.
don't ask the same questions over and over. You know?
And we do hide and seek.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was cool.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I was upstairs, I thought I was. But first, I thought I was by myself, and I was a little. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little sketched because I wouldn't go in the room with the mannequin. There was no way. I was standing in that hallway and by the chinchilla room, and I felt like I could see like shadows moving in the chinchilla room, and then I heard footsteps come upstairs, and I thought Mars had went down in that bedroom down on the other side. And then I heard her downstairs, and then I heard her come upstairs. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Was I up here by myself, or was somebody up here with me? So how about the night after the investigation? We were all sitting around the dinner table, and I asked my wife, I said, you said I can't have a Ouija board, right? He said, yes, you cannot have a Ouija board. I said, okay. She said, you cannot own one and put it outside either. I said, okay. She said, not in the garage. I said, that's fine. She said, so where's your loophole? I said, well, I played with one yesterday. She goes, oh, that's fine.
Then tell her the thing that happened the night afterward.
Oh, what happened the night afterwards? Hold on. I have to think about it. Is that whenever I started having weird things happen at the house?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So since we've had some increased activity at the house since we've left the Ross house.
Oh.
We've had things fall off the shelf. My wife's heard footsteps in the hallway. What else? There was a night that I was out in the living room and I heard the baby scream like bloody murder. And I'm like, I wasn't sure. So I was like, you know how parents, wait a minute, I'm going to see what's happening here. That was it. She didn't make any other noise. Renee was back here with her. She says she never heard her. She never screamed.
Oh, wow. Hopefully something didn't attach to you, because I know with Mars using it, she opens and closes it,
Yeah.
the Ouija board. But she's never had anything strange like that, and our activity hasn't increased. I'm very I don't know, sketch about the Ouija board myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind her playing with it, but I will not.
Yeah.
I saw some way. I saw some things from other people, and I mean, it could be nonsense, but I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I had an incident when I was a teenager, because I obviously didn't know what I was doing, and had one literally like would start zipping around on a board. We let go, and it kept zipping around on the board and flew off.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You know what? That we never touched it again after that. So
I think that I'm a skeptical believer. I believe it, but I'm skeptical about it until I have something happen where I'm like, okay, yeah, that's definitely something real. And I think that's how I am with the spirit board, is like, yeah, it's possible, but is it though?
Right. That's how I am.
I mean, the thing is with it is it's just another tool. You know what I mean? Like if people, say there's something evil about, well, you're asking something to come through any piece of equipment you use. So you're basically opening that door no matter what. Hey, come through this portal, or come through this ghost box, or so
pendulum.
Yeah, pendulums are basically the same thing, but you're not really have two fingers on it. It's the same concept.
Same concept, yeah.
Now, Cindy did an experiment. It's probably been about a year.
What, the one we did with it was right before Christmas.
Yeah, so
December
a little under a year ago.
Yep.
Where she had 3 teams in the house that didn't know each other. Like our team was there with myself, Chris, and Mars, and then Christopher.
We had 2 friends with us.
Yeah. Yep. Christopher Jensen was there. He's a psychic medium. She had him in the basement, but Mars was with another sensitive in the dining room, and then Chris and I were upstairs. And then we had 2 members of Bump in the Night with us, Ryan O'Shea and Kathleen Wilson. And she wanted to try something between people that didn't know each other. So Chris was in the basement doing
just communicating as a medium.
Yeah. And Mars and another lady that was
I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
She's a sensitive, but they were doing the Ouija board.
Blindfolded.
Well, they did 2 ways.
Well, they did both.
And then Chris and I were doing the Estes method. So she wanted to try 3 different methods of investigating. And she had scripted questions asked and given to, I was under an Estes. So Chris had the list of questions that he would ask. But she would radio to all of us at the same time and say, okay, go ahead and ask your questions. So each team would ask the question to see if any of the answers coincided or what type of information. Now with the Ouija board, they were blindfolded at first and had no idea what they were doing. And they didn't really get anything that spelled anything out. But at one point, the Oracle started doing a figure 8 or like an infinity sign all over the board. And then it flew off the board. And we do have that on video as well. But it was strange because when they asked that question, Christopher was in the basement, Christopher Jensen. He was saying that he had seen a little girl that came through to him, and she didn't speak very well English. She couldn't read or write. So as they were trying to maneuver the Oracle around the board that wasn't spelling anything, he said that.
Oh.
So yeah, it was really strange.
Yeah.
It is
strange. So, but it was a really cool experiment to see, because like I said, I'm a very big skeptic in the Ouija board, but I won't mess with it. I've seen too many things. Like I said, I'm a little sus on it, but I still don't want that. I don't know. There's something about it that kind of,
no, I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
But I've used a pendulum before, and I've never had any issues with that. So
I have one.
I'm trying to think what else about it. What else did we do down there that was interesting? I mean, with back to the Ross house, just we've got probably more evidence than anywhere else. Like that's good physical evidence.
There and Madison Seminary.
Yeah.
Madison.
Disembodied voices twice now, and
Madison Seminary's up in Ohio, northeastern Ohio.
Okay.
Up near like Ashtabula. Cleveland.
We need to do another one up there.
Yeah,
We'll take you guys there next time. That's one of our favorite places.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. We would like to go to the old hospital on the hill, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
We
West
just
Virginia.
were talking about trying to go down there because we went
The old
past
hospital on College Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let us know. We can always pitch in and try to split it. Whatnot.
That's a definite.
Yeah, so you have to stay over for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like a 5-hour
drive down.
So, but we just went past it a month and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
So,
what were your thoughts?
I've always wanted to do it.
Always.
Yeah, we've always talked about doing it. Because it's local and it's affordable for us.
Yeah.
For investigators.
A lot of these, like we get questioned over and over. Why don't you do Tala? Why don't you do Western?
I think what we need to do, like get with you guys, coordinate with a few people, try to get like the max people because there's such a big area, big things. You could take 20 people, and if you can split it between 20 people, it'd be the same as going to some of these smaller ones. So.
Like Mansfield is $3,100.
Is that what it is now?
Yes.
Where is it?
Holy cow!
$3,100
for where?
Mansfield.
Oh,
Mansfield Reformatory, where they filmed Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Mansfield's like 1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's doable
And so-
between you get 20 people.
Well, if you can have it's some of them only limit to 10.
Yeah, but even that 120 a person isn't bad.
Yeah.
Compared to
Tala's pretty expensive.
it's like 1,500 or something.
Yeah. I think Moundsville's max is 20.
Yeah, I think that's what Tala is too. I think it's 20.
Yeah,
I've been there one time.
To where?
One time.
Tala. We did a daytime tour there, and I'll tell you what, even the daytime tour was something.
One of our friends has done the public hunts, and he said it's not bad even to do that because it's so big that you're not like right on top of each other.
Yeah.
So that's our thing with public hunts. If you get all those people in there, your evidence is going to be tainted.
Because we've run into that. We've done a couple, not even, they weren't public, but there was a lot of people that weren't coordinated. So you're like in the middle of doing something and you need silence, and all of a sudden somebody comes tromping through and or something.
Yeah. I did a public hunt at Moundsville one time, and I felt like they moved through it way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough time in each spot. Yeah. And what a great place to do. I'd love to do it too. So yeah, maybe with you guys, and we get our whole group together, we can coordinate some of these bigger places and try to do them sometime.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I was just telling Luke the other day, I think it was, I'd like to maybe try to plan out next year some investigations and try to work towards getting it set up to happen.
That's actually a good idea, because then people can commit, when they can ask off work or whatever, or we can talk to everybody what days are good. We're probably the most flexible because we have days in the middle of the week and stuff that we're off. So
yeah,
it's easier for us, and so we can work around everybody else.
I think one of our goals too is to return back to Prospect Place too. That was fun.
Love that place.
Where's that?
Our problem.
It's in Ohio as well.
Down near Zanesville.
Just Chris and I went by ourselves, and we had so much stuff happen.
No, really.
Yeah, really love that place.
Did you guys film that one at all? Is it on your channel?
And we did a live.
Yeah, that is the one we had the disembodied kids laughing or whistling when
up in the ballroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on our video. At least that part. But then we did a whole live.
Yeah. And we didn't put it on the channel, but we had a cough come from the room where the owner had died from pneumonia.
We had a sneeze.
Sneeze.
When we were in the basement.
The cat balls.
On
the dirt floor were rolling, which a dirt floor, like not packed dirt, like loose dirt.
Little
and it was still moving. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It almost was, to me, I would liken the dirt floor there. I think it was because it was packed and so dry, almost like talcum powder.
Oh,
like,
okay.
So nothing would roll on it. You know what I mean? It would,
Right.
And the cat ball didn't go off all night, no matter what nice smooth floor we had it on, it never went off. And then at 7 in the morning, it was already getting daylight out. We're down there and it went off on that floor.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. And that's where we heard the sneeze was down there too. But it's a neat place because it's documented part of the Underground Railroad. And also there was documented that a slave hunter was killed there by the workers of the farm. So
yeah, he came to look for the slaves that they were hiding, and they strung them up. They hung them.
They hung them in the barn.
In the barn.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
that'd be a cool place to investigate.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of cool places in Ohio.
Yes.
I like to do that island. Did you ever hear that haunting island? I forget where it's at. But you take a ferry to it, and then you take a ferry back.
Yes. We went past there.
Is that the one down near Parkersburg?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's right by Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the Ohio River. Is that the one you're thinking of?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We did read about that. So I think it's right near where Route 33, I think, crosses the Ohio. You can see the island from the bridge.
That's awesome. Man,
I have to wait till the kids get older, so in case anything happens, my wife don't call me, be like, "Oh my God, I need you to come home right now." I can't.
We'll take a canoe with us just in case.
I'll see if my papa let me borrow his boat.
There you
go. Luke, did you have any other questions for them?
No,
I see we're coming up on our time. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to plug, like your YouTube channel? I know you guys have also the Storm Chasers one as well.
Absolutely.
We do. We have a link tree that has all of our social media channels and things like that. It's under Linktree PA Storm Trackers, correct?
Yeah. Actually, all of our channels now have a link tree, and that's what I'm working at, streamlining them.
Okay.
And they'll link you to everything. So if you go to any of our link trees, if you go to FayWest Paranormal, the link tree is going to be on the Facebook page, on the YouTube channel. And it'll link you to all of our other stuff that we do, because we do Storm Chase, and then also another channel called Vink's Adventures is just not paranormal, not storms.
Just travel.
Just travel and stuff.
That's awesome.
History, things like that.
That's awesome. Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out and coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you for having us.
If you want to have us again, hey, we're here, and we'll get together and do some collaboration.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll have you on our podcast, because we're going to do not only the storm chasing, but paranormal. We're going to have guests on.
Right.
But it's all live.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
Anything goes.
Of course, the dogs want to say hi, too.
Absolutely. All righty, guys. Well, we're going to hop off here. I got to
guys.
go to work. I don't want to go to work today.
I hear you.
This got to be the full-time thing. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
All right.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Spooky Unknown. We really enjoyed talking to FayWest today, and all the stuff they do with the paranormal and Bigfoot related things. We enjoy collaborating with them, go on some ghost hunts and go up to Area X. I'm excited for that. I want to go up to Area X.
Yeah, no, I think they're going up this weekend, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're going up
When are they?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening Saturday. I don't know if we were invited either.
Yeah, they invited us.
Did they?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Well, they would be going yesterday, because this is posted on Sunday. So
Well, yeah.
they'd be going up, and yesterday they'd be going up.
Oh, man. The world of media is very confusing whenever you have to do things for the future.
Yeah, right.
All right. So you ready for this? Would you rather?
Let's do some podcast mentions first.
You want to do this first? Okay. Go ahead.
Don't forget to go check out the YouTube and subscribe. And in the link below, we have a Ghoststop link. which that is, if you purchase anything through that link, it will help support the show. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, we have a Cash App and PayPal on the website, exploringtheunknownpod.com. Send us a little donation. And while you're on the website, we have a lot of stuff on that website. That's a pretty cool website. I'm happy with that website. Go check it out. We have some merch on there. And you can find all the episodes on there as well. And all the links to our socials.
Yeah. I actually forgot to tell you, I created a link tree. So now it'll be one link for all of our links.
Yeah, we need to put that on all the social medias.
I agree. Okay. Was that all the podcast mentions?
I say so, yeah.
Cool. So now I have this paranormal themed, thought-provoking, would you rather? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather uncover undeniable proof of an afterlife, but be forbidden from ever sharing it with anyone? Or experience a face-to-face encounter with an unknown cryptid, but have no way to document it or prove what you saw?
You're basically in the same boat for each situation.
It does seem that way.
Like, if you do this thing with that paranormal, or speak to this out, document this paranormal thing. Yeah, I feel like in the same boat with both situations, because you're not going to be able to document the crypto. But if you document this paranormal thing and you can't tell anybody, no one's going to know anyway. It's like it's a toss up between, like, do you want to come face to face with a cryptid or have this conversation with a pet entity, but you can't tell anybody.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know, that's a hard question. No, you can't tell anybody, like, on the books, or you can't tell anybody in general.
You're forbidden from ever sharing it with anyone. So, at all.
I probably have to go with the second one, because if you come across this creature and be like, you can still talk about it, they might not believe you, but you can still be like, oh yeah, I saw this and all this shit.
Oh yeah,
you're just not discovering, you're just not having the proof to prove it.
Right. I don't think that I could have, like, a definite, yeah, there's an afterlife without being able to talk about it. Like, if I knew that there was more, I couldn't not talk about it with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Now, what happens if, you know what? Hold on. Let me, so which one are you going with?
Second one.
Okay.
Just because you can tell people about it. They might not believe you, but you can at least tell them about it.
I was just curious as if maybe ChatGPT would, like, humor me and be like what would happen if I did share the info. It says I'm forbidden, but what would happen if I did? It says, if we imagine a scenario where sharing information about the afterlife is forbidden, it adds a layer of mystery and consequence to the knowledge you hold. Here are a few intriguing possibilities of what might happen if you choose to share it. Psychological consequences. You may find yourself disbelieved, dismissed as delusional. Supernatural interference. Some paranormal stories and folklore suggest there might be consequences for revealing secrets of the afterlife. So there's already consequences rooted in history or in supernatural forces intervening to maintain cosmic balance. Huh.
The men in black will be after you.
The men in black will come knocking at your door. Well, I don't think I have any more to add to this.
Neither do I.
Wake up.
I gotta get work in 2 hours.
I'm off today, so you enjoy that. Alrighty, everybody.
Until next time.
Until next time.
keep exploring there.
Bye.